Hi Scorpio, welcome to your mid-June 2018 tarot update. It's Rena, and I'm using the Druid Craft deck this time around. So I've actually been enjoying it. I did it one other time, and I think they're very nice cards. I always like that kind of, I don't know, what would you call that? Elizabethan, medieval, whatever, that Renaissance fair type of thing. Okay. So the heart of the matter is the King of Swords. This could be an older male air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, who is figuring into your life at this time. This could possibly be a boss figure who is kind of impartial, doesn't play favorites in the workplace, very analytical, but not necessarily plugged in emotionally. So in terms of the dynamic that you would have with this person, you may feel like he isn't connecting to what you're going through. Maybe you feel like he's being a little bit, insensitive or too detached about a situation that you may take issue with. This could be a judge in a divorce situation or in any kind of other legal case where you're dealing with the aftermath of a decision or an impending decision. We have in the past position the Ten of Cups. So this could narrow it down to marital affairs, although this can be a recent wedding, a wedding to someone that maybe this person it's like you were happy at one point with this person, and now you feel that they are out of touch with their feelings, and it's frustrating for you because that's how you get through life, is with your feelings. We know that, Scorpio. So that could be what the kind of circumstances are surrounding this situation. We have here as a spiritual message the Knight of Pentacles. If this is a workplace situation and you feel like you're not vibing with your boss, you may just decide to double down. You work overtime because you have plans to leave and you want to have a little bit of buffer, in terms of money. You also may have a situation where there is a Taurus person, that's your opposite sign. Although I always think that the Page of Pentacles, I'm sorry, this would be the Knight of Pentacles. They use different, this is Prince, so that would be Knight. And I think the Princess would be the Page. But the Prince of Pentacles it's supposed to be corresponding with Taurus. I always think of Capricorn. But I think Taurus is actually the most in alignment with what it represents, because the Knight of Pentacles is a card of someone who is doggedly pursuing, financial security. So they're kind of really in that zone where that's what they're all about. And maybe it's just for a certain goal that they're trying to reach, or maybe they're trying to save for a down payment for their house, or They want to be able to travel and they need to have a certain amount of money to do that. Who knows? So, but this is a spiritual message. So I'm thinking that this could be in terms of a person that is also on the horizon, that maybe is more of your type. This would be like a Taurus, that's your opposite sign, but it is an earth sign, and you get along very well with earth signs. So if you were with an air sign person, it's funny because air and earth, they do both seem to be quite detached. They're not coming from the emotions. They're more like analytical or rational, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, because we have to have these different types of people in order to make things function. If everybody's emotional, then nobody's rational. Everybody's rational, there's no empathy. So even though this person may be an earth sign, they might be more interested in what you're interested in. And the other earth signs, by the way, are Capricorn and Virgo, if that means anything to you. As a spiritual message, maybe this is somebody that you kind of know and who likes you, but you never really gave them much interest because you were interested in this other person. It also could just be about doing things that are tangible and practical in order to allow the emotional upheaval that you may be feeling to kind of subside, okay? And the Knight of Pentacles is a card that's very practical. So if this is a workplace situation, you may just be feeling like, okay, I'm just going to, try to take advantage of this as much as possible, but I think that ultimately I would be better off somewhere else. What crosses you is represented by the Three of Swords. This is a card of rejection, and definitely if this is a workplace situation, you may have been passed over for a promotion, and you may have felt that this person didn't even do it in the right way. They may have kind of, like if you just assumed you were supposed to get something that you didn't get, and the way that you found out about it made you feel like the person didn't care, that they were betraying your, how much work that you put into it. And I think this also is saying that you may have worked hard for something that didn't see a payoff. And it feels like a rejection, but this is in the challenge position, Scorpio. So it's very important that you do not allow any kind of thing, whether this is in your personal life or in a work life, that you don't allow it to make you feel like you're not good enough, because it isn't necessarily anything saying it's not necessarily about you. It could be about something else. Sometimes people, this person is not somebody who necessarily is going to be biased against one person versus another. There's a sense of detachment. That's why it's associated with being a judge, because judges have to approach things with a lack of bias. And so you may feel that you were treated unfairly, and that may feel bad too, but there may have been another important reason why that person did what they did. If this is in your private life, the Three of Swords can also point to like three parties involved, and that could be saying that, I mean, I didn't think about this, that this could be on your part too. Maybe you're the one that has two partners that you're involved with, one being a marriage partner, and maybe there's an earth sign and an air sign involved. And that the Three of Swords is that you have to cut something very decisively out of your life, and you haven't been able to do that thus far. If you're on the receiving end of this, and you feel like you're in this lover's triangle, or you were in a lover's triangle, it's important not to allow that to affect your self-esteem. You know, I know easier said than done, but yeah, that could be something that's happening as well. We get a lot of swords in this, so I have to believe. Swords can also be about drama, though, too, and, you know, conflict. What's coming in is represented by the Seven of Swords. One of you, I'm not saying Scorpio, but somebody wrote to me and said something really great about the Seven of Swords, because this is one of those cards that sometimes, not that I struggle with, but the typical interpretation that I have always associated with the Seven of Swords is about someone slinking off, doing something sneaky. It can even be physical theft. And yet in this depiction, which tends to be pretty faithful to Rider-Waite, it's showing a man and he's deep in thought. And I know that the number 7 relates to research. So definitely with swords, you're talking about mental energy, perhaps. So maybe research. But somebody said getting all your ducks in a row, like planning, strategizing. So that makes sense in with this illustration, but also with this particular reading, that's something that you're going to be doing. Now, the Seven of Swords can also be about you going on your own. So let's say you were involved with 2 other people, whether you had 2 partners or the other party had 2 partners. You may just decide, I'm not going to be with either one, if it's on your end of things. Or if your partner's trying to decide between you and the other person, you say, you know what, I'll make your decision for you. I'm leaving on my own. It could be something along those lines. In terms of work matters, you may get that courage to leave a situation where you don't feel appreciated. And the outcome is the Princess of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. This is good news on the horizon. Something that kind of, you know, cheers you up, enlivens you, makes you feel enthusiastic. It could be a new career change. Now, this particular reading is covering only the last 2 weeks of June. So what I like to do, even, you know, when some of these cards suggest all these major things happening, is just to look at if any of these things seem like they are happening for you right now. And maybe it's just like the natural progression of things. Because this can be a card of receiving a lot of good news on the horizon. Something, I don't know about a lot, but something that makes you think that everything that you've been through is worth it, because it's a new beginning. You know, pages like aces can indicate new beginnings and the birth of a job. Maybe it's your own job, and the Seven of Swords could be you really coming up with something, and it being something personal for you that you can really stand behind because it feels right. It feels like it belongs to you, Scorpio, and you can put your own personal imprint into it. And even with relationships, hearing from somebody that you've wanted to hear from, and maybe it's that Knight of Pentacles individual. Okay, well, that's what I have for you. If you'd like a personalized reading, please click on the link below. Take care, Scorpio. Bye.